Some say it starts with the telephone. Some say it starts with a crush. Some say it's when your baby begins to wear lipstick, mascara, and blush. When 9 o'clock turns into 10, and 11 means 11:15, and midnight is magic and soulfully tragic when you mix perfume and gasoline. It starts with the night at the Dairy Queen, the matinee idols on the silver screen. That's when you know it's time to let go. There's only one thing it can mean when you smell perfume and gasoline. Now you mothers and fathers remember changes that occur in the heart. Your sons and your daughters were like oil and water, but now you can't keep them apart. It starts with the night at the Dairy Queen, matinee idols on the silver screen. That's when you know it's time to let go. There's only one thing it can mean when you smell perfume and gasoline. Round and round that old circus ring. It's scary, it's sad, and it's a beautiful thing. So here's to the nights at the Dairy Queen, and matinee idols on the silver screen. And that's when you know it's time to let go. There's only one thing it can mean when you smell perfume and gasoline.
No.
Why don't we do a take two?
Wait a minute, let's start again. Hello.
Hi, this is Ron Vodry.
This is Alex Nussbaum.
This is Jason Fraser.
This is Matt O'Brien.
Hey, this is Ray Zwicker.
All right, world. My name is Cal Post.
Guys, this is Christina
This is
Walkinshaw.
Eddie Deliseppi.
This is Adrian Spencer.
My name is Timo.
And you're listening to the Julien Dionne
You're listening to the Julien Dionne Comedy Hour podcast.
Who am I talking to? What am I doing?
Julien Dionne Comedy Hour.
You're listening to the... son.
Comedy Hour. See, I took the word out comedy. Changes the meaning completely, doesn't it?
Dazing. Not really, I'm overworking, but dazing. The holidays. Happy holidays. You're listening to the Julien Dionne Comedy Hour podcast.
And aren't we all?
Now broadcasting live and totally uncensored, from Lemon Press Studio in the beautiful Gatineau Hills.
Project. I was like half asleep on the couch and now I'm projecting. Hey everyone, this is Christian Potenza.
This is Gay Trevor Wilson.
This is John Paul, a.k.a. the Island Hipster, hashtag hipster business.
This is Steph Tola.
Hey, this is Jake Goldsby.
This is Sky Wallace.
Hey everybody, this is Erica Sigurdsson, aka Ricky Siggs.
Okay, hello. Hi.
This is Howard Wagman.
Hey, this is Peter Anthony, the PA system.
This is Matt O'Brien.
Some people that's my rap name.
This is Jen Grant, and you're listening to the Julien Dionne Comedy Hour podcast.
Show. You and me belong, just like the flowers, laughing all day long. People, I need you loose. Sing a little song, then take a shower. Julien Dionne.
It's a show. It's not an hour, it's a show. It's okay.
No marketing aquí. Okay pa.
Waste of time.
Whoops.
A waste of time.
Professionalism.
A beautiful waste of time.
What was that?
Welcome to the show, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning.
I went to school.
Right, there we are. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Julien Dionne Show with Jen Grant. We're live on a Friday morning, Friday, December 11th, 2020, broadcasting to you. That's right, you sitting there watching this live from Lemon Press Studios in the beautiful Gatineau Hills. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Good morning. Jen Grant is with us.
Good morning.
Comedian extraordinaire, one of Ottawa Life magazine's 25 most influential people in the capital. Jen Grant.
Wowee. Thank you.
Welcome, Jen. Thank you. And,
I love that smattering.
Yes, and of course, the pre-show song was once again brought to you by Mike Plume. Mike Plume Month continues with a pre-show spin that was Perfume and Gasoline from his 2020 album, Lonesome Stretch of Highway. Thank you.
Love it.
And, of course, we are here live today. No,
Oh.
I don't know why that's funny, but I'm obsessed with this thing. I did a corporate yesterday for a pharmaceutical company, and I used it. And
what is it? Can you describe it for our audio listeners?
Oh, in case you didn't listen yesterday, you mean?
Sigida. In case they're not watching on YouTube.
Oh, the sound machine. The sound machine.
It's like a tiny little square.
Yeah, a little sound machine. So, anyway, yes, it's a little square, and yesterday I used it for this corporate I did for this pharmaceutical company in the afternoon, and this got more laughs than any material I did for 20 minutes.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Every time I'd be like, I'd say a dumb pharmaceutical joke, and I was like, get a big laugh, or I'd say something, and
Is this going to be a part of your regular routine now?
I can't rely on anything else. I've discovered that not unlike Gallagher with his watermelon, I need this sound machine. This is my new closer.
I haven't even used it yet, and it was my idea. Wow.
Now you know better than to flaunt your good ideas around me, Jenny.
Yeah, clearly.
Because my ideas are usually like...
No, you're obsessed.
Whereas your ideas are like...
Thank you.
Or better yet...
It is
anyway,
fun.
It's the best. I mean, I've discovered that I'm a 6-year-old child because this has brought me more joy in the last 37 years than anything.
Okay, that's a bit much there.
Hey, all right. Thank you for being with us. If you're out there watching, please give us a share. Today we have a fantastic guest, returning guest.
We sure do.
Sandi Harmer, medium Sandi Harmer. So we had her on, what was it, the summer? At some point I should have checked.
Not even summer. It was more recent than that.
You think?
Yeah, it was like maximum 2 months ago.
I don't know about that.
I am positive about that. Now I'm wondering. You know why? Because I remember a listener of our show and friend of mine had said how much she loved it, and she said something about summer. That's true. Maybe.
Pretty sure it was summer.
A lot of people are excited that she's on again.
Yes. So anyway, if you're with us,
time does fly.
If you're watching us live, why don't you give us a little sharesy poo so we can have a live audience? I mean, we do get a good amount of downloads. I mean, we can come up with our own questions. We don't have to. It's fun.
It is fun, and I think people are intrigued.
Yeah. And
it's an interesting. She's an interesting person. It's an interesting topic because there's believers, there's non-believers. It's a whole world.
It really is, and we did. I mean, we're not going to ask all the same questions as we did the first time, obviously, even if we have a different audience. I mean, the first time we asked all of the questions that you would ask. I'm sorry. I'm turning off this thing that's showing me how many people are watching. It's distracting me. And yeah, so we asked a lot of things, and the first time around, all of the questions you would ask a medium if you were to sit down with. So I asked from the perspective of a skeptic and all that. So we got past that. So we'll ask today. I think she wants to talk about our inner guides and.
There's lots to talk about.
Yeah.
Tons.
Time magazine, which I didn't even know magazines are still a thing, has named their person of the year. Jenny, did you know that?
Is it Kamala Harris? Biden? Oh, who is it?
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Oh, then that's people.
It's not people.
You said person.
It's still the Time magazine person of the year. It's the two of them.
I don't.
That's what they call it.
I am definitely confiscating that machine from you.
That means no, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. No, but it's still called, the award is still called Time Person of the Year. They don't change the name just because they've had sometimes more than one person be it. But yesterday morning they announced the 4 finalists, which were Joe Biden, Trump, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and frontline healthcare workers. You see how that's not a person?
Okay, I get it.
No, I'm just explaining. Oh, sorry. That's not what I wanted to say. Say it again. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just explaining. Geez, someone got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
Oh my God.
Thank you, studio audience.
I don't.
Yeah. So anyway, they announced yesterday morning the 4 finalists, and then they announced last night that Biden and Harris are the Time Person of the Year. I guess, yeah, you're right. People of the Year, if you're going to be grammatically correct, but that's what it's called. So, moving on. I guess.
So what do you think? I think that's great.
Here's what this topic did.
I think that's great, and I wonder if Donald Trump is jealous.
Well, right away, for sure, he has. Actually, I meant to check that. He right away, the hashtag Time Loser Trump was trending, skyrocketed to the number 1 trending. Yeah, so that's that.
Well, I think it. Who was last year? Sorry,
I have no clue.
Oh.
I think it was Trump, actually.
No.
What do you mean, no?
The person of the year?
Yes.
Oh. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know.
Not everybody doesn't like you know what I mean.
I guess
half of the people like him, so it's not shocking that.
I guess it just seems shocking because I don't know anyone who does, but it's just the people I hang out with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
that's true.
You definitely do, and
Not many. Not
everybody
many.
does. No, that's burying your head in the sand. Everybody does.
No, I know 2 people. I don't know anyone else that
I
has ever expressed to me, though.
guarantee you know more than 2 people.
Yeah, I know,
that
but they've
like and
never
support
told
Trump.
me.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying it's not as fringe as people think. Like people talk, you know, we have our opinions, but people talk about it like what? Huh? The 2020, it was. Hold on. Time Person of the Year. Let's see who's won in past years. Charles Lindbergh, 1927, Man of the Year. That was the first one. Person of the Year,
When was that?
1927.
Wow,
You know, magazines made sense back then, but who's buying magazines?
I like it.
No, I do too. When I go to the airport or last year when I went to Latvia, I was so humble brag. I was so disappointed. I got Howard Stern was on Rolling Stone magazine, and I buy a Rolling Stone in the airport, and I'm like, cannot wait to get on the plane and dive in. Get on the plane. I'm like, shit, it's in the terminal on
hate
my seat,
that.
and I'm on the plane. And you can't get off the plane. Excuse me, I gotta get my Rolling Stone.
And magazines are expensive.
2019 was Greta Thunberg. Greta.
I like, and people who are making vision boards are getting magazines.
The Guardians, 2018.
Did you hear me?
People who make vision boards, what?
Are getting magazines.
That's funny. That's a funny joke.
It's true, though. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, so like in
you
2018...
need to clip out stuff, you know? And there is something, I hope that there's always going to be magazines. Like, I understand that it's gone down, but there is something about, and you know, like same thing with Kindles or books. Like, I like Kindles and I think there's a place for them, but I think there's also a place. I'll never stop reading real, like, books.
Yeah.
Like paper books. I like both.
Yeah, books are.
I mean, there's a place for both.
They in 2016 it was Trump, the Person of the Year. I'm just quickly glancing on his Twitter to see if he okay, why did he's still just freaking out about the election, every tweet. Oh my god. It's discouraging. Reconnection successful. Let's see if anybody will respond. Oh, are we back? Okay. Sorry, everybody, we're back.
Okay.
Shit. Okay, we're back. We're live.
Okay, awesome.
We're on. Sorry, everybody, we're back. Whoops. There's a delay. Well, that threw a wrench into things.
No kidding. That was kind of shocking.
Shocking?
Yeah, when the power went out. Can I not say it was shocking, or is that? Ugh.
All right. Sorry about that, everybody. I think we're live on the same stream. I think we're back up on the YouTube. What am I, 91?
I think so.
Yes. Okay, we're back. Jeez. Sorry. That was it just for the power just blinked on and off like, and standing here in this, it was really dark in here. Like, is it light outside, Jen?
No, it's pretty, like, it's light, but it's not.
Well, it was like pitch dark in here. Like, I couldn't even see my hand for was just a second. Everything that was the sound it made. Anyway, and the modem, everything had to reboot, and I'm surprised it's on the same stream. Are we on Facebook? I know we're on YouTube for sure. Who cares about Facebook? I'm just gonna.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. We've it started the stream again. Right. Hold on. Let me just do a couple things. So we were just talking about Time, Person of the Year, magazines, and then what happened?
And then the power went out.
Blacked out. The laugh. Hello? Here, why don't while I fix this?
Yep.
A couple things. We'll do this, Jenny. We'll get into this. Oh my God, everything's messed up now.
Yeah. Drag.
Perfume and gas.
Good thing everybody understands.
Daily dose, get the news from coast to coast. Daily dose, all your news from coast to
All
coast.
the news and headlines from Jen Grant.
And here's your daily dose for Friday, December 11th. So 2 weeks until Christmas. Just letting you know.
2 weeks today officially?
Yeah. This is the 11th. Plus 14 is 25. Hi, I'm good at math.
Hi,
So-
I'm patronizing.
So here's some good news in 2020. Thank goodness. Do you happen to remember, Jules, a tiny monkey that walked into an IKEA 8 years ago?
Did he put on some sort of jacket or something?
Yeah. How do you remember that?
Because I saw something yesterday, I think,
Oh, okay.
celebrating the anniversary. What did he
Celebrating
do?
the
Fashion
anniversary.
monkey? What was that?
No, he was so his name is Darwin. He's a Japanese macaque. It's
What was that thing about proofreading we said yesterday?
I did. I already proofread, but I didn't check how it was pronounced.
Just kidding.
It's Macaque. Masaki? I don't know. Anyway,
That sounds like you got hit in the nuts like, ow, my psyche!
Good one. He wandered into an IKEA in Ontario. I think it was like just outside of Toronto.
Go ahead.
And he was wearing a stylish shearling coat.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the animal sanctuary he lives at now, he's doing better than ever. So Darwin, was
he going through a rough patch back then or something?
Well, I mean, I think so, because if a monkey walks into an IKEA wearing a jacket, I think he's in a rough patch. Like, I don't think monkeys want to be walking into furniture stores with a tight-fitting jacket on. I'm not an animal expert, but I don't think that's what they want to do.
So he wasn't in a good place, and now he is.
December 9th, yeah. It was December 9th, 2012. I remember because we were I think we had just moved to Toronto.
I don't even remember this.
Oh, no? I do remember. He was spotted wearing wandering an IKEA. Imagine, wouldn't you wonder what the hell's, you'd think, I'm sure some people thought they were losing their mind. Walking through IKEA, seeing this miniature fitted coat, and he had a diaper on.
And what was the story? Why did he have a coat, and whose monkey is it?
He was
many questions.
I think a monkey had escaped from someone's house, and he was a victim of the exotic animal trade.
Oh, yeah?
He was taken from his mother before he learned any key skills on how to be a monkey. So he overcame a bunch of hurdles, and now he's in this... while he was in this primate sanctuary, he had to grow up and understand what it was to be a monkey. Right. So other monkeys were not very accepting of him because he didn't realize that he had to fall into a hierarchy of monkeys. And because up until that point, he was very spoiled. Everybody just gave him all this attention.
The monkeys were judging him because he came from a coat family.
Yeah, and he also was expecting to get fed first and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, over the last 8 years, he's really he's grown into a nice monkey, and everybody likes him, and he's got friends. And but for a while there, they had to separate him because the other monkeys were like, "Who's this? Who's this?"
Malalaga.
Huh?
Malalaga.
You're so annoying.
Why?
I don't like that.
What do you mean?
I don't like it when you do that.
What's wrong with it?
I don't like it. So anyway, that was pretty funny story, I thought.
It is.
And it's a nice little distraction from the vaccine is now approved. Anyway.
I know. Tell people are talking about vaccine.
Hey,
and
by
we're
the
here
way,
to tell you there's also monkeys in the world.
If you live in rural Eastern Ontario and you have a lottery ticket you haven't checked yet, go and check it. Because now, and I'm going to for sure, because
Did you buy one?
I got a lottery ticket for my birthday from my aunt.
Oh, yeah.
And she lives in... Like,
oh my God! Go check it now. The show's done if we won.
Can you imagine? Well, I don't think it would be done because there's still $100,000 encore prize that is remaining unclaimed.
There's a what?
It's $100,000.
Oh.
Are you less excited now?
Well, we'd finish the episode, but Monday there'd be no show.
So, yeah.
That could very well be you.
I know. And I was thinking also that it's an encore prize, which would be very appropriate because my grandfather won an encore.
Right.
And that's why when I do buy lottery tickets, and once in a while I always get the encore because that's how he won. He won $250,000. That was very exciting.
It is. That
was very exciting. This is kind of cool. There's an Ottawa paramedic who received a little award for delivering a baby. So in the last 8 weeks, he's delivered 3 babies.
A paramedic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I
Because
think
people can't get to the hospital because of COVID.
Yeah, and they can't get there on time, so they have to just do it. And sometimes I think what happens is the contractions can happen really quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't had a baby, but I've heard that before. So all of a sudden when contractions happen, they can happen so fast that there's not enough time to get to the hospital, so they're just in the house. And then so what happens is this particular woman's in her early 20s. She called 911. Then the dispatcher tells the paramedics on the way there, this is what's happening. This So they get all prepared and they get in there and they help deliver the baby.
And what time frame did he deliver 3 babies?
8 weeks.
Oh.
And I bring up this story too because we have a friend who works at 911 and he says that paramedics don't get enough credit for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Paramedics do so much. First on the scene, you'd think that think of how many lives they've saved. Like that would be
just think of they've seen aside from that, just like all the horrific car crashes and stuff.
Yeah, and all kinds of stuff. But they've saved a lot of lives, and I feel like they don't get paid well enough, and I think they don't get enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
you heard it here
shout out
first.
to paramedics. So here's a strange story too.
Could you do that job? Be first at like a car crash or a suicide? Or like you're the first one there.
I think, you know what? I don't know. I feel like I could do it. And I think like anything else, you get good at that job. But I think I'd have to be in therapy. Just like, because it's almost like mini PTSDs every day. You know what I mean?
Mini, that'd be full.
Yeah, full.
I mean, you're seeing someone that blew their head off. That's. I mean, it doesn't get.
Yeah, true.
Much
it's not mini.
Yeah.
It's not mini.
I've got mini PSD. I walked in on a murder-suicide scene. Mini.
I have PTSD light. It's light. Well, the reason I said mini was because it's not your life. You know what I mean? Something that happened to you, but I guess it is something that happened to you.
Yeah.
I would wonder if you would get desensitized a little bit.
Probably to a certain extent.
Yeah. I think it would be really, really, really hard. Like when I love the show Law and Order, and when I watch that SVU, they're always talking about the special victims unit. I think that would be a really hard job. Like such a meaningful, important job to stop and protect victims of that kind of abuse, but holy shit. Thank God we have people. I think, you know what? I think that's the kind of job that you shouldn't do your whole life. Kind of like my mom used to work at ICU, and I always used to say to her, like, you should, if you change departments in the hospital and stuff, that's okay, because like there's so many intense, hard jobs like that a whole lifetime of that's a lot. Like It's almost like pay your dues for a while, contribute, but like that's a lot for a lifetime.
Yep.
Don't you agree?
I do. That's why I said yep.
So, So anyway, there is a man who is, this is a totally separate story, who is being extradited from Malaysia to the U.S. For money laundering last February, but between June 2017 and December 2018, he allegedly financed a nationwide ring of people who purchased turtles in the U.S. Like, so much shit is happening in the world.
So there's a turtle, like a black market turtle ring?
Yeah. Belonging to 5 protected species. So these
I'm in
turtles,
the market. I am in the market for a rare turtle.
The turtles were inhumanely, this is awful, bound with duct tape and placed in socks. How do they not die? So as not to alert customs authorities. Like, what a shithead. And then, what?
What? Nothing.
At least 1,500 turtles with a total value of over $2 million were smuggled out of the U.S.
Wow.
Using a PayPal account, this guy allegedly purchased turtles from sellers advertising on social media or reptile trade websites. These sellers allegedly shipped the turtles to a middleman who were typically Chinese citizens who entered the country on student visas, according to the Department of Justice. So this man allegedly paid and instructed them to repackage the turtles and use false labels for shipment to Hong Kong. Once in Hong Kong, the turtles were allegedly sold on the black market for thousands of dollars each.
Wow.
Ugh.
That's crazy. And what do they do with it? Pets or eat them?
I know. That's what I'm wondering too.
Because they do eat, I mean, you can eat turtles.
I know. I'm wondering that too. I'm thinking it's eating. Gross. Poor turtles.
What are people?
They're so cute.
But it's just like, that seems like a lot of trouble for what?
I know. It's disgusting. There's a man in Winnipeg who got a $298 fine for wearing a mask outside, for not wearing a mask outside.
Where? What was the situation?
Well, the situation I suspected when I first was reading the story, I was like, what? But then it's because he was too close to the person. Because regardless of whether you're outside or inside, you have to stay 6 feet away.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. He was in a parking lot. He's an electrician, and he's really super pissed off because it's right before Christmas, and it's $300 fine. And he was just having a coffee, talking to someone in a parking lot, and a police officer drove up and
that's shitty.
Gave him a fine. I know. You'd think that he could just
outside, and he goes, especially like. What
I
the
know,
fuck?
And also like he said that. He said, you know, he follows the rules. Like, you could easily make that mistake. Oh, whoops, it's outside. Like, I'm sure the guy wasn't right next to the other guy.
Yeah, that's fucked
having
up.
a coffee, you know. You'd think that a warning would suffice. He said he follows all the rules all the time. He was just outside having a coffee, for God's sakes. And also he was having a coffee, so he needed to have his mask off because he was drinking.
Right.
You know, it's not like he was...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kind of bullshitty, eh? Anyway, did you read that Ellen DeGeneres has COVID? No. Oh my God, you just yelled no in the kitchen. You're not even in the studio.
My notes when the power outage, when I keep going.
Okay. Well, Ellen DeGeneres has tested positive for COVID, and she also had said that she contacted everyone that she had encountered. Also, Dancing with the Stars judge Carrie-Anne Inaba. Do you know who that is? Carrie-Anne Inaba. Oh yeah. Yeah. So she is also tested positive for COVID, and she warns everybody during this holiday season that you don't want this. She says she's very sick.
Yeah, I saw a post yesterday too. Actually, a comic from Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
What?
Well, nothing. I'm just banging myself everywhere. There's a comic in Vancouver that's had it for like the last week or so, and he posted saying like, "This really, really suck."
Really?
So he said avoid getting it because it's I have a lot of friends in New Brunswick that are like calling it a sniffle and, shutting down the whole economy for a sniffle. It's a lot worse than that. And I don't blame them for thinking that way because in New Brunswick, again, they've been pretty sheltered and lucky to have very few cases. I mean, they've gone to orange and that was a big deal. But yeah, it's a lot more than a sniffle. People are going... getting their ass kicked with this thing. I
think there's a lot of ambiguity. Like I feel like I think that it's different for everyone too. So it just not everybody gets really sick. So everybody's like whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, on a lighter note, if you're considering, I don't know if some people get their tree kind of late. So it's 2 weeks before Christmas. Often people get it around this time. If you're considering a fake tree or a real tree, maybe consider getting a living tree. Have you heard of this? It comes in a pot with roots intact. You can decorate and enjoy a real tree over the holidays.
Must be a big pot.
It must be. And then afterward, plant it outside and actually create wildlife habitat that can last a long time. I think that's a really good idea. You're going to plant a tree that is going to be enjoyed for years to come.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if you could keep it in the pot and then wait until spring, because how the hell are you going to make a hole in the ground when it's so cold?
Good point.
These are the things that will keep me up at night. Jules?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and when it keeps you up, it keeps me up.
Speaking of which, I kept you up all night last night.
Oh, my God.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
It was more like wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah.
What am I, 7 years old?
I think we all know who's the farter in the couple here. Despite their benefits, living trees aren't for everyone. For one thing, a 3-foot tall living tree costs about the same as a 6-foot tall cut tree. So if you want a taller tree,
that makes sense. They're little guys.
I don't mind that though. I wouldn't mind that.
Because to have an 8-foot or 7-foot tree rooted, it would be like it would weigh a ton. It would be a big.
True, and you also have to. It's not for everyone. You have to be able to have the place to plant it, which we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could also donate it though if you want. So there's some ideas for you.
Or you could do like we do with the fake ones and just throw it directly in the ocean. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You can also get, I don't know if you know this, but you can get a real tree from IKEA, and then you get a $25 gift certificate.
Does it come with a monkey?
You get a monkey ornament with wearing a jacket. No, but that's really great. So you go to IKEA. I think, last time I did this, it cost only $25 for the tree. And then you get a $25 gift card.
So it's a free tree?
That's kind of cool. Don't you think?
You're basically making money.
Yeah, that's right. So that's your daily dose for today.
Oh, hold on. Wasn't ready for that. I'm crouching on this stool.
Daily dose, get the news from coast to coast. Daily dose, all your news from coast to
All
coast.
the news and headlines from Jen Grant.
Time name their person of the year, Jen. Do you know that?
Nah. What if you just? I'm just realizing that you're losing it right now.
My notes are so lame. Like sometimes I look at things to talk about on the show and oh fuck, I hope I started the recording again. Oh yeah, I did. Phew. Yeah, sometimes I look at things to talk about on the show and there's like non-stop topics, just interesting stuff. Yesterday and today, there's just not much. I mean, there's stuff happening, but everything's depressing. Everything's vaccine. Ottawa and Toronto are set to get their vaccine, the first vaccines on Tuesday. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, the Toronto's University Health Network will be getting vaccines on Tuesday in Ottawa Hospital. I wonder if there's anybody at the hospital that doesn't want to get it, that are going to get it, end up getting it. I'm all for it, and I'm definitely going to get it. I'm still a little scared.
My mom
I'm just being
told
honest,
me,
and I don't, and it's maybe not responsible to say that in a public forum, but I'm just being honest, and
Yeah, but you're also saying you would get it, so it's not like
I am
you're-
going to get it, like
Yeah.
for sure. I'm just like,
My
you
mom-
guys get it first, and I'll wait.
I tried to find this story, but my mom said she read something, and this could be like just a fabricated, not real story. But she read that some people have died from taking it.
There's no way that's real. There's no way that's real.
I
Hello?
know. I know.
There's no way that's real because 4 people out of 21,970 got, is it Bell's palsy?
Mm.
And they denied it. And that was big news. And they said it was just a coincidence. If you were to take any sort of control group with 20,000 people, there's most likely 4 people out of that group would randomly get Bell's palsy, which seems crazy. That's
How
those odds.
does one get Bell's palsy?
I don't know. It's just like a freak thing. You just wake up one day and
Stress, maybe?
half of your face is paralyzed temporarily.
That's terrifying.
But no, nobody died from the vaccine.
That's terrifying.
Absolutely not. I will definitely. We shouldn't share those stories if they're not true.
Oh, I just said that I know, but
no, I know.
Okay, okay.
I'm not saying that we're saying it's true. I'm just like that's how people. I just
Googled, good point.
Fact check clarifying claims around vaccine Pfizer death. Okay, here it is. Reuters fact check clarifying claims around Pfizer vaccine deaths and side effects. Social media users have been sharing a post that makes several claims of serious negative health effects from the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, including that 6 people died during a late-stage trial. These claims are partly false. Partly false. Whoa. 6 people did die during the Pfizer vaccine trials, but only 2 of them were given the vaccine. The other 4 were given a safe placebo.
Oh, no way.
Safe placebo solution of salt and water. No causal relationship was established between the vaccine and the 2 deaths. What?
Causal.
Oh, what did I say?
Casual.
No causal relationship was established between the vaccine and the 2 deaths, which occurred in line with the normal death rate for the general population. That's the thing. They take these big groups, and that's going to happen regardless. Like, people will die and get Bell's. The first person to get the vaccine in the UK is not in critical condition. That was also a rumor. And 4 cases of Bell's palsy, partial facial paralysis, were also not considered to necessarily be caused by the vaccine, but the symptoms will be under surveillance when the vaccine is distributed. Precautions have also been added for allergic reactions. So there.
Yeah.
The post
well,
says...
I'm glad I brought it up now, because if anybody were to have seen that post, now they're feeling better about it.
Yeah.
And including now I can say something to my mom. So I'm glad you found that, because I tried to find it and I couldn't find it.
The post here says 6 people
reassure
died. Pfizer late stage trial of COVID-19 vaccine for this. Yeah, so it's just not accurate.
Okay, well, that's great. I'm glad we brought it up, and I agree with you. I think we have to, because we're doing the show, we should probably be very responsible in how we frame news like that. So,
yeah,
Kate, I stand corrected.
And so that's vaccine news.
But you know what I mean.
This was trending, but we already talked about it. You mentioned that CERB thing. CERB letters are circulating a first round for self-employed people that are requiring people to pay it all back. That's fucked. I saw that. I got so much anxiety. Woke up this morning late, tired, and I'm like, let's do this show. Let's start looking at things to talk about. It's like self-employed people paying CERB back. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's because they didn't.
I know it's
right,
because they made less than 5,000 after expenses.
Net, yeah.
And but
talk about
when we talked about
people,
that,
like
I know, but when we talked about that the other day, when you brought it up, you're like, well, people have to learn, and it's 5,000 net, but I could totally see people making that mistake. If you've made let's say you made $6,100 from your self-employed little business, and you're like, perfect. Mm-hmm. You apply for CERB. You're fucking poor at that rate.
I know.
And then it's not people maliciously trying to play the system. It's people that are self-employed that, and then once you do your taxes, you deduct all the expenses, and then it's like, okay, actually you made $4,700 net. And then you have to pay CERB back. That's fucking bullshit. And it's what?
Sorry.
What?
I was distracted. Go ahead. I'll share with you afterwards.
Oh my god. It's bullshit because it's coming after Anyway, whatever. Yeah, you're right.
Do you want to hear why I'm laughing? Laura goes, got a peek at the snow globe behind the curtain. So pretty. I guess when you were leaving the...
Oh, yeah, right.
That's funny.
It is funny, but I was in the middle of a Serb rant.
I know. I'm sorry.
What was this? But if you... because... Yeah, anyway, that's just it. Like, if they made less money... Like, I don't think it's malicious... Anyway, I lost it. It's done.
Well, I think that
it's almost 8 o'clock.
You know what? You know what would be really? I agree with you, like 100%. It's especially if it's really close. Like if, and even still, like, come on, aren't we splitting hairs here?
Well, the thing is with Serb,
yeah.
Some people totally played the system right. For sure. Some people, that were already on EI or getting disability checks and doubled down and got Serb, and we covered those stories on the show. But that's a small percentage of the people. I mean, it should act as a stimulus for the economy. I mean, all that money went back into the economy. There's nobody that collected Serb that's still sitting on that Serb money as a savings. It's a stimulus for the economy when we... during a global pandemic where everything was shut down.
Very true.
Now they're going to investigate for 3 years, CRA said, and get people to pay it back. I mean, what the fuck? That's all they can think of. Say, well, look at the fuck, CRA. No, but really, just take the hit. And anyway.
I wonder if some of those people, I'm sure some of those people are people that maybe don't claim their income too. You know what I mean? Like if they had just, I bet you some of those are working under the table and don't claim their income. And because I would imagine most people, or maybe they're on EI already.
Well, it's a good thing for the government because it's going to, it forced people that were maybe behind on their taxes or trying to get away, it forced people to kind of reactivate their tax kind of transactions so that it updates so that they can catch up. And I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's move on.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's 8 o'clock almost, so
right,
we can give Sandy a shout.
Let's get her on because this is depressing. Vaccines and people paying back service. Okay, let me just... get her on here.
Okay. I'm excited to chat with her.
So, of course, as you know, we will be chatting with Sandi Harmer, medium, a returning guest. She's been on before.
Mm-hmm.
Very fascinating, interesting woman.
Yes.
Let me get her on the line here. Let me first send her a quick message. Sandy?
I think she's ready.
Okay. You've been messaging her?
I messaged her, checked in with her yesterday. I just saw that she is watching on the show.
Okay.
And so I think she's ready. And
my computer's really
please
slow.
feel free to write any comments below if anything strikes your fancy and you want to ask a question. It's a good opportunity to ask questions. I've been to Sandy before as a client, or I don't know what you'd call it. I'll ask her that. But I've been to her before for a reading, and it's really, really cool to go and see her. And, the day that I went, I could have just talked to her all day asking her questions about what she does. So this is a really great opportunity to do that and not, this is what it's for. When I saw her, I was there for a reading, and then I just kept chatting and having so many questions. And, eventually he got to leave. Otherwise, you're that weirdo that won't leave the person alone. And so now this is a great chance to really pick her brain and ask her how she does what she does.
I don't know. It's saying no internet connection. And I'm trying to... okay, let's see. Sandy. Oh, Sandy, where are you? Oh, Sandy. My computer's really acting up. I don't know if it's from the shutdown, like the power outage. It's really slow.
Yeah, it's hard not to lose your patience, eh?
Yeah, really, really is. Perfume. Nothing's working. Well, let's just keep chit-chatting here until
it does?
I guess. I mean, what else are we going to do?
That's weird.
What else are we going to do?
Are you connected to the Wi-Fi?
No, hardline.
Right.
Good. This is great content.
Well, I'm sure it's gonna work in a second. Is there anything that anyone can think of right now that they're interested in asking a psychic medium? Sandy's also a reverend. I want to ask her about that. What it takes to be a reverend. She's a spiritual coach. I think that would be fun to work with her on that.
I don't know what's going on.
Still won't work?
No. Hold on here. Sandy, if you're watching, I apologize. We're trying to reconnect. I don't know what's going on here.
Would it help to reboot stuff?
No, because then we'd have to start everything all over again and do another live. I mean, that's no.
Okay.
It takes about 15 minutes to go live by the time you share everything and get it all across the platform. So
right.
Okay. New message. I don't understand this.
It's really weird.
Well, fantastic. Great stuff. Great content.
Shoot.
Great show, guys.
I'm
talking to us.
Well, why are you saying it like that? It's not your fault.
It's because I'm frustrated.
I know,
I'm trying
but
to...
it's okay. Like, we'll figure it out. Is there anything that I can do?
No. Thanks, though.
Okay. Might be worth rebooting if it doesn't work soon, because there's no point. I mean...
It's not. That's not going to help. It's not a rebooting thing.
Okay.
Everything works except my messenger. It's like just a circle.
Weird.
Anyway. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're there, we appreciate it.
What if we call on the landline and put it on speaker?
No. It'll be too hard to hear.
I know.
I don't want to half-ass it. If we're going to do it, let's do it.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening and being patient with us, guys. Let's all send a message to the universe for this messenger to work.
What the hell? Wow.
Well, while we're waiting, how about I just remind everyone that we are we have an excellent sponsor, Gringo's Blazing Sauces. It's super delicious, and not only hot sauces, there's barbecue sauces, there's as Julien always says, grilling jellies. They're not grilling jellies. They're these really good jellies that you can have with charcuterie, and so delicious. It's a local company. Doug Knight is he's a chef by trade, so he knows everything about flavor. That's why I think they really stand out to me. What stands out to me are the ingredients. There's no he preserves them with lime juice, which is great. It's bursting with flavor, and it is spicy, so you get that heat. Some sauces are spicier than others, so you can get real good selection. Salsas too, so good, so fresh. It's hard to find a jarred salsa that tastes so fresh, and theirs does. So Gringo's Blazing Sauces, you should go follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and if you order from them, they make a nice Christmas present. Good stocking stuffer. Get a good quality hot sauce in your stocking. Hello, I would love that. And there's free shipping over $40, so you can get quite a bit for $40. And might as well and it stays good in your pantry for a while until it's opened. So So I highly recommend that. Plus,
Gringos Blazing. There we go.
Yeah.
And Jenny, I think we might be on with Sandy.
Oh, amazing.
Sandy, can you hear us?
I can.
Ah,
Yay.
perfect.
It
Yay.
works.
Sorry about that. I don't know what was happening. Of course, as soon as we're about to get you on, everything jammed up, and
yeah, we're
my video quality. What happened here? Anyway, hold on one sec, Sandy.
Sure.
I'm going to sort this out and introduce our guest. Very excited to have her on, a returning guest to the show. And the timing could not be better. And I'm going to ask the first question that was asked here because I feel like I'm laced with it. So first of all, good morning, Sandy. We have on the line with us Reverend and Medium Sandi Harmer, based out of Ottawa. And we're very thrilled. Good morning. How are you doing today, Sandy?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. So, as I mentioned off the top, we've had you on the show before, and we've kind of addressed most questions that a lot of people would have if they were to have the chance to sit with a medium or meet a medium on the street. Just kind of all the off the top of your head questions. We covered a lot of that. So today we'll kind of ask different questions and get deeper into what it is you actually do on a day-to-day and all that kind of stuff, and for people. And we've put it out to people to ask questions, and one of our most loyal listeners, Laura, asked, and this is perfectly appropriate because I'm feeling this right now, how does Sandy have to deal with, quote, negative energies, if there's such a thing? How do you navigate and deal with And I'm asking that because right now I'm full of it, I feel like, because the power went out and all this. How do you maintain calm in life and rather than let outside things dictate how you feel on the inside, flip that? How do you do that, Sandy?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And, I think with what's going on right now, there's so much fear and anxiety for everybody around the world, it's just so much more important now to really pay attention to our inner self and bringing that peace from within out. And how do I do that? I do that through meditation. And I know that sounds really like, oh yeah, right, meditation. But I cannot stress that enough because it's like we have to quiet the mind. And one of the things that I do, and I know you're in media and that, but I don't have the radio on when news is on. I don't follow news channels on TV. I've had people say before to me, well, how do you know what's going on in the world? Well, if you don't listen to the news. I just find out through other people talking or what I need to know, but I don't need to put all of that negativity in my body.
That's so true, and we are inundated with it with a 24-hour
Yes.
news cycle. And you're right, we're kind of in the thick of it because of our profession. And
Right.
meditation, I mean, that is the number one thing that people say when you ask, how do you deal with all this kind of stress and anxiety? And if you could maybe elaborate on that a little bit for people that don't meditate or don't know the concept, can you explain literally like how and kind of what? Is there a technique? Do you just kind of sit there quietly and observe your thoughts, or do you just let your mind roam? Like what's the approach?
Sure. The number one thing is breath. It's breathing. It's the breath. And sort of a standard key one that I do in every group that I do prior to, whether it's a meditation group that I'm doing or teaching mediumship or spirituality, whatever, there's always the standard 3 deep breaths. And the thing about our body is that when we're breathing deeply, we are relaxing the body, and it's impossible for the body to be up and full of anxiety when you're breathing deep in that, because it's the body is actually that's a signal for the body to slow down, relax, breathe, and you're concentrating on those 3 breaths. So I always do first breath is always for body. So I just say to everybody, just bring your awareness to your body, and if there are any areas in your body where you're feeling like tightness, muscles, or pain, or anything like that, just focus on that area. Take a deep breath in through your nose to a count of 4. So it's like I just go breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 3, 2, 3. Release through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have to just like, and really breathe it out, because you have to get that that air out and helping that body, sort of recalibrate, actually. And we tend to breathe shallow, most of us, right? The top of our chest. So I always tell the people to put your hands on your tummy when you're breathing in through your nose. And if you're doing it in the way that's going to be most beneficial for you, I'm not going to say the correct way, I'm going to say the most beneficial way for you, is that you should feel your hands kind of move up, because your stomach is going to move out as you're breathing in.
Breathing with the stomach, through the stomach.
You breathe right from the base. Like if anyone knows about chakras, you just breathe in the sacral chakra, which is just below the belly button. Just breathe in through there, and then hold it just for a few seconds, and then really breathe it out. And the second breath that we breathe in is for mind. And I just tell people that while we're doing that, if a thought comes into your mind, just give it gratitude or recognition and release it. And the same technique, breathing in, hold, release. And the final breath in is always for spirit. And I just tell the people, this is the essence of who you are, and that's the truth.
Is there a time that you recommend people meditate for? A length of time, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or like, if, again, I'm just trying to think of coming from a pure amateur perspective where somebody's never meditated before. And by the way, I have to say that it obviously works. There's something about you, Sandi, even through this phone call, I'm relaxed. Do you feel that, Jen, like right away?
Yeah, totally.
As soon as you started talking, I'm like, oh, it's like a warm blanket. I'm like, all of a sudden.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And in meditation, people will say, oh my God, I can't sit, for an hour. I can't do this. There's too much in my mind. My mind has monkey chatters going on, la, la, la. And it's, a meditation can be as simple as taking a walk outside.
Right.
You don't have to be, sitting with candles and all this. It's wonderful if you can do that. But I mean, it's like time out. Like I'm taking time out, and I'm just going to go for a walk, and I'm going to observe. I'm going to really go into what am I seeing?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as your mind starts to wander, like, oh crap, I've got to do this tonight or whatever, stop it. Immediately just look ahead, look behind, look sideways, see what you're seeing. Just bring your awareness to that, to the vibrations that are around you. I mean, it could be the trees, it could be you're walking along the sidewalk and you're noticing, well, not so much now, but because there's snow there, but before, rocks, twigs, leaves. I went for a walk, was probably a month ago, and it was so fascinating because I was walking along this NCC pathway, and I found 4 praying mantis alive.
Wow,
walking.
No way.
Wow.
I was so surprised. I just had to stop in that moment and I got down, bent down and really looked at this praying mantis. They were this lime green. And so I took that color into my body and just sort of just staring at it and just wondering about it. So my mind was totally focused. And this is the other key. You need to focus on something. My mind was totally focused on this praying mantis.
And you were in the present moment at that time. I mean, you can be more in the present. And
it's interesting you should say, sorry to interrupt, but I need to say this before I forget. It's interesting you should say that because I wanted to ask you this. I've noticed I go for daily walks with my dog, and I notice that even if I don't think about it, I have noticed that within usually about the first 10 minutes of my walk, I'm all of a sudden taking very deep breaths, and it's like it's naturally happening. It's like it's like when and same thing with when I meditate, and I don't meditate for long periods. I usually do it for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes max, and I'm just introducing it as a habit in my life. So for me, the key is to do it shorter because it seems too daunting, kind of like exercising. If I say to myself, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to do hour-long workouts 5 times a week, it's not realistic. It's not establishing a new habit for me. But when I'm walking, I notice that my body is relaxed and everything is just tuned in to nature, connecting, taking time. And then all of a sudden, even without thinking about it, I'm taking deep breaths.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Is there a minimum time you recommend?
You know, I don't even get out of bed in the morning before I meditate. Like I meditate before even rising. Okay. Just 15, 20 minutes, and just to just set the stage for the day, actually. And like I was doing a group meditation last night for actually to bring healing and world peace, because this is what we need right now. And just bringing all those people who are with me, we used our energy to branch out and radiate our light to help heal the world. And I told them yesterday, like, I had a kind of a, like I said, I'm not immune to going down the rabbit hole. I mean, like, I'm like everybody else. And so yesterday, I think I meditated like 5 times during the day. I just had to keep taking the time out, because the mind was just racing with all these things in my personal life. And I thought, nope, time out.
So if you feel yourself kind of, getting that little bit of anxiety bubbling or just regular stress, you don't allow yourself to even go down that path, because then you just kind of spiral and it just snowballs. So you just have to nip it in the bud and sit and quiet the mind. And you know what? There's definitely, I mean, it's 1000%, there's something to it. I mean, that I don't even like to say there's something to it, because that's like an undersell, because every successful person in the world meditates. Every book you read of every CEO, anybody, they all meditate. I mean, it's kind of a necessity, and more so now in this kind of world that we live in, where you're glued to your phone and your computer screen and your TV, and everything is just constant. And like you said, the 24-hour news cycle, it's just bombarding us with constant negative stuff. It's definitely needed. And it's good to be reminded of that, because Jen does it all the time. I don't. I inconsistently meditate, and I'm obviously always flying off the handle and anxious. So that says something. I mean, geez.
And I feel like, Sandi, you wanted to talk about inner guides. Is that like, I imagine you have to quiet your mind like that to be able to be in touch with your inner guides. Isn't that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you mentioned you had a reading with me, and every time before I do a reading with anyone, I have to take at least 15 or 20 minutes just in silence, and of course do my, intentional prayer to bring in my guides to help me, reach those who want to reach the person that I'm doing the reading for. So it's just part of it's just a natural thing. The other thing I just wanted to mention too, Julien, we were saying about, the anxiety in that, and it's also deep breathing. It's a natural phenomena, and it's something that's just not used by all these professional people who are like, what did you say? I can't remember what you said now, who are famous or whatever. But it's also, if you think about this, when you're in the hospital or whatever, they'll say, breathe. Or you've been in a car accident, the first thing the medic is going to say, breathe.
Or having a baby too.
You're having a baby, breathe. So, I mean, it's not just something that someone just says, oh, hey, how about doing deep breath? This is a natural phenomena for the body. Healing, natural healing phenomena. So it's not just that we are able to quiet the mind and shut everything out that's negative, but we're also allowing that time for the body to heal.
Right.
That's the other thing.
I'm fascinated with breathing. Seems to be very trendy these days with Wim Hof. I don't know if you're familiar with Wim Hof and the Wim Hof breathing technique. It's very mainstream now. It used to be a niche thing. People are discovering Wim Hof, and there's this other book. I forget the author's name. It's called Breathe, and it's all about the proper ways to breathe with your nose. And all this kind of stuff. So it's very on brand to learn how to breathe, because we did forget how to breathe over time. Life has kind of taken over in a way, and everybody, like you said, mostly just shallow breathing. And if you notice when you're having anxiety or anything, it's all shallow breathing, just the top of your lungs, like you mentioned. I want to elaborate a little bit more on the inner guides. Can you just kind of talk about the concept of inner guides, and does everybody have inner guides, and how do we listen to it, and what's the purpose of the inner guides?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we all have guides. We all do. And, some people, I've had some say to me, oh, I know I have an angel around me, or I feel I have a guide. Well, we have many angels. We have many guides. And the inner guides, those specific light beings are ones that are with us for a lifetime. And they actually have a purpose. There's four or five of them, that have an exact purpose for being with us. So I can just, guides come to us, they communicate with us sort of telepathically, mind to mind, and they'll do that by inspiring us with an idea. Like, you were inspired to start your show. And I'm absolutely positive it was one of your guides who came through with you with that inspiration that Julien, you need to start the show so that you can bring listeners, so that they can learn about all kinds of different things, and you can bring humor into people's lives. So this was probably one of your guides who came in with that idea for you. Flashes of light that we might get, or understanding. We might get, I also talk about sort of like synchronicities, or all of a sudden someone will be talking about a book, and you're going like, oh man, I was just thinking about that, but I didn't know who to read about it, or whatever. Or you'll get a letter in the mail, or you'll get an email. And it's just, what it is it just helps us sort of recognize there's something bigger than what we are. There's a sort of like a coordinating body of energy or intelligence in the universe that's behind everything that happens in our life.
Right.
Everything, right? And and they're not there to tell us what to do. They're there to provide guidance. They're there to help teach us what our soul's path is, what we need to learn while we're here on the earth plane, and to encourage us for our spiritual journey and development. I mean, that's basically what they're all about.
So do you think when we're born that we have like a path that is laid before us, and we are meant to accomplish certain things in our life, and these guides will help us accomplish those things?
I do believe that. However, I want to also stress there's also free will.
Right.
Okay. We there's nothing that's carved in stone, and I really worry about people who, go for a reading for someone, and they might say, okay, this is going to happen, and this person's going to die, and which I would never ever do, but and this is going to happen, and this is what you must do. It's like, hang on a minute. Those are all possibilities.
Okay.
Right.
All possibilities. We, no one can dictate or anything like that. So our guides are there to, as I said, help to guide us, to inspire us, to sort of leave clues for us, or make us think a little bit at a deeper level about, well, what is it I want to do with that?
Mm-hmm. And how much of our own individual courage, or like, if we feel inside that we're meant for something else, because I'm sure a lot of people have felt that there is something that they are meant to do, but they can't access that deep down inside, or for some reason they're not doing the things through their free will that they should quote unquote should be doing, or if they did, they'd be able to reach their full potential. What do you say to people that are feeling a little bit frustrated in that? Because I know that I talk to other people. I have friends that are like, I know I should be doing this, or I'm supposed to be doing this to reach my full potential, or I don't know exactly what that is. Again, would that message be to quiet the mind and try to tap into hearing the message from inner guides?
Why do I feel like that friend is me? I have friends that just will not reach their potential. They're stressed out on a daily basis and they lash out. But
well, it could be you, but I'm sure that everybody has that same kind of question, right?
Right.
And I know it's kind of cheesy if I say, follow your heart, but I mean, our heart is the highest vibrational organ in our body in terms of energy. And we always know what's best for us. We really do. We have that internal voice, and, we'll get this, this is what I really want to do. And then all of a sudden you talk to another human being and they'll say, well, I'm not really sure that you're meant to do that. Or, well, why aren't you doing this right now? You have a lot more potential than what you're putting into your life right now. And then what you start doing is you start adopting their values, their thoughts, and you dismiss your own.
Right. Absolutely.
And when you're doing that, you are doing a disservice to yourself. You're not honoring yourself.
Interesting. Well, I read a lot of personal development books and self-help books, and one of the messages I read a lot is that we want to fit in and not be kicked out of our tribe, right? So when you're saying that, and we're not always conscious of that, we do
That's
it.
Right.
We do it for survival because we need our chances of survival are greater if we have a tribe around us supporting us and in a pack. So that is a balancing thing, right? Is listening to your inner, because I know there's a difference between the way I feel like my inner wisdom and my inner path or whatever versus my tribe or my family, like, because growing up as even just being a stand-up comic, literally I think 0 people encouraged me to do that in my family because it doesn't seem like a stable, safe route. But I knew that I knew I was supposed to do that because it felt right. I was kind of honoring that thing inside of me, but I'm not saying I'm so great and I always do that. It's just an example of you don't want to be kicked out of your tribe, but you also want to honor who you are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it does take some courage to do that sometimes.
It does. And the thing is, as human beings, we don't do well in isolation. We just don't.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. And you're quite right. We're part of a tribe or a pack or however you want to say it. But it is creating that balance as well. In the end, we have to look at the end of our life, can we look back and say, this is what I really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And it may not have turned out the way I wanted. I took a risk. Mm-hmm. I took a risk. And it doesn't mean that it was wrong. It just may not have turned out according to your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Nothing's lost there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes it's not a straight line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not a straight line to where you want to end up going. But most of the time when I have taken a risk and listened to my heart, even if I do quote unquote fail, which, that's okay to fail too, because that's part of the journey. But at the end of the day, if I've done that, I never feel bad because I've honored who I am. Like I've done things where I've auditioned for things and I've chosen jokes, for instance, for an audition that I think they want to hear rather than what I feel is authentic to me. And it never pans out. And when it doesn't pan out and I haven't honored myself, I really feel low. But if I've listened to myself and it doesn't pan out, I don't feel low because I'm like, I was just being me. And that's my authenticity and that feels good.
Absolutely. I want to just pick up on something you said when you said you failed, and I want listeners and for you to hear this. And I don't believe in failure. And it's just what I said before. It's not that we failed at something. It's that it didn't turn out according to our expectations.
Exactly.
There's a difference. Okay, so if you can sort of view your life in a different way, like, take the lens off and just say, okay, this was my expectation. This is what I thought. I thought this was the dream job, and I got fired, or I have to quit. Like, what the heck's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. It's just that it just didn't fulfill that inner self.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. And so take a positive spin on it. I think as soon as we say the word failure, that's negative.
Yeah.
That's imprinting that negative vibe into your body.
True.
We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that.
Very true. And I have another question about your inner guide. So you say that before you do a reading with people, you will sit down and listen to your inner guides and get in touch with them. When you do that, it's a two-part question. When you do that, is it always easy to access and hear them? And number two, well, it's 3 parts. When they talk to you, what does that feel like, and how do you know that that's not a thought versus an actual message from your inner guides? And have you gotten better at listening and knowing what it is and the voices of them, and can you kind of differentiate between all of them? Like, is there individual inner guides that you call by name? There's a lot of questions.
Question.
Yeah, I know.
Can we break it down?
That was a 9-part question.
I am so sorry. They kept coming to me as I was asking. I'm really interested in this topic, so sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, for me, I mean, I took the time out to discover, to ask who were my guides. And so I work with several guides. And for myself personally, there's this a space, I'll say, I just say I'm going to connect now and get into my personal space in which I'm opening myself up to the energy to receive from guides or receive information from those in spirit who want to contact, and connect with the person. So I say it's like an intentional prayer that I do, in which I just let the guides know that I'm opening up, I'm coming in for their guidance and for their inspiration, so that I may receive guidance and information for this particular person. I tell them that I'm going to raise my vibration, because these are light being energies from other dimensions, so their frequency is a lot faster than what our vibration is. So I ask they lower their vibration so that I can hear them clearly, and I'll raise mine, and I always thank them with grace and gratitude. Surround myself with love and protection.
Do you say this out loud, or do you just think it?
I do both.
Okay.
I do both. It just depends. And then there's a sensation. Guides will come in, and I know who's in because they all come in with a different feeling, a different sensation. Okay, so let me just tell you who the inner band of guides are. So we have a doctor teacher guide, we have a doctor chemist guide, we have a joy guide, and we have a protector guide, and then we have the master guide.
Everyone does?
Sorry?
Everyone does?
Sorry.
Yes.
And could you repeat those? We have a doctor teacher, a doctor chemist.
Yes. A joy guide.
Joy.
Protector guide.
Protector.
And then the master guide.
Okay,
the master
great.
guide. Okay, so each of those guides come in with and work with us for a specific reason. Now, the inner band of guides, they are the guides that work with us for a lifetime. For a lifetime. They're with us for a lifetime. And we do have other guides that we can call upon. So if you wanted to start some sort of, creative project, even writing a book, you could just ask the universe to bring to you a guide for to help you with ideas, inspiration, and just sort of sit and listen. I know it kind of sounds poo-poo or foo-foo or whatever you want to say it, but it's not. It's real. It's real. It's absolutely real. And a lot of mediums work with their joy guide. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And joy guides are very, you know their energy's there because you just feel like, woo, and it's very kind of uplifting and you feel very so excited. It's almost like being a kid on Christmas morning, with the anxiousness of opening up all your presents, that sort of vibration. And the joy guide, they're wonderful to work with because they have a great sense of humor, and they also help when they come in. They help the person who's receiving the reading to relax, because a lot of people come in for a reading, they're very anxious because they may never have had a reading, or they don't know what to expect. They don't know what they're going to hear. So the joy guide is sort of there to help with that. And they kind of come in like you kind of almost feel that they're a little child.
Cool.
Young kind of energy, but they're not. These guides, the joy guides, are guides who have lived many, many lifetimes, and they're just fun to be with. Now, the other thing
and
about
Sandy,
joy guides,
sorry to interrupt. Are these your guides? Like, if you do a reading, are you seeing the other person's guides, and your guides are also there to help communicate everything?
Okay, my guides are with me. Okay, and so when I'm doing a reading, I never know who, like I say to the individual, I don't know who's going to come in. I don't. It can be someone from spirit, and it can be a guide. And I was just telling my group last night that I was doing the meditation with that the last couple of weeks that I've been doing readings, it's very interesting because it's been guides, their guides have been coming in and giving me the information to give to them, direct and that kind of stuff.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. The joy guide likes to play tricks too. They're also can be responsible for, you put something down and then it's gone. Mm-hmm. You go like, where the heck did that go? I know I put it there. And then you might find it like 2 days later in the same spot. You go, what? I looked there like, 20 times, or you find it in a different spot. I say these are the joy guides moving. They're just playing with you. So that's the joy guide. Do you want to hear about the other ones?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so the, let me see. I'll do the doctor teacher guide. So the doctor teacher guide, this guide usually comes in and helps us sort of with helping us with our philosophy of on ourself, life, our values, our beliefs, this kind of thing. They also, what else do they do? My mind's gone blank here. Oh yeah, okay. They sort of teach us, they help us deal with kind of like everyday issues that kind of happen on the physical plane, like helping us through, making a decision on, should I go on that trip on this weekend or whatever, or should I make that phone call to this person that I really don't want to make, or whatever. They're sort of the ones that you can kind of bring in for that. They can bring in protection, and so this particular guide, the doctor teacher guide, is probably someone who, when they were on the earth plane, okay, because these are energies who've been on the earth plane, they've either been maybe a doctor of philosophy or divinity, something like that.
Very fascinating.
So cool. Hey, I have to interrupt for this funny comment that one of our viewers is listening right now. Laura, she says, the joy guides are stealing Julian's internet connections.
Well, guess what, Laura? You're absolutely right, because as I was sitting there watching Julian, feeling a little frustrated, trying to get a hold of me, and that's why I said, I'm here, I'm waiting for the call, and I said, darn you, joy guide, stop it. Stop it.
Well,
like enough is enough. We've been trying to get together for 3 weeks now, and it's not funny anymore.
Well, I'm glad somebody's entertained by it, Joy Guide. I'm glad someone's having a good time.
Yeah, and that's a really good example of, I'm glad she asked that question, because many years ago, I don't know if I shared this the last time I was on or not, but I was teaching and I was doing the guides and the Joy Guide, and this one woman was just a sweetheart, but she was so intent on learning everything and doing everything absolutely the right way and the proper way, and I knew she was kind of anxious, and I just thought, oh my God, we're here to have fun. So I was passing around papers, and every time the paper would get to her, they'd fly off. They just fly out of her hands. She was getting really frustrated. She said, I'm not usually this clumsy. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. I said, it's not you. I said, this is Joy Guide. And everybody just burst out laughing, right? I said, this is Joy Guide at work, just saying, it's, let's just lighten up here. This is to be fun. I mean, it's learning, yes, but we're here to have fun. And she started laughing. So it just broke that kind of,
Yeah, there's kind of these mini lessons with each kind of interaction almost. Can you tell us a little bit about the Dr. Chemist Guide? I'm curious about that one.
Right. So the Dr. Chemist Guide more than likely would have been a medical doctor when they were on the earth plane, because they work more with our kind of like our physical, our biochemical, energetic being. So they work with the chakras in our body, the pranic energies, our aura, which, and what they're trying to do there is they're trying to bring together, in our aura, which is the physical layer, the emotional layer, the mental layer, and the spiritual layer. So they're trying to kind of bridge that all together, and help that, because, our thoughts, and I truly believe this, and some people go, oh, that's crazy. How can your thoughts make you sick? Well, I really believe that. I think, we can think all these negative thoughts, and what happens, they kind of manifest themselves in the physical body.
In disease, I absolutely believe that.
I believe that too.
1000%.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah. So this, I would call upon the Dr. Chemist to sort of help in that area, like, like let's do some work here on, free up make the chakras moving again. Let me look at what I need to address before it becomes imprinted, in my body. That's going to come back and bite me in the rear end, sometime later in my life. I don't want that to happen. So the other thing is about the physical layer, the physical part of the aura. That's a much denser vibration, so it's slower moving. And so it kind of like is, how do I say this? Kind of like a vacuum, and kind of like sucks all that, the thoughts or the emotions, and what happens is they get stuck in that layer. Right. And so this is the one that we really want to sort of work on and keep moving, and see where, there's dead spaces in our energy flow, and see how we can get that opened up again. So that's the Dr. Chemist. That's his or her role.
I may have asked you this last time, but what is when, for example, when you look at the clock and it's always 11:11 or 4:44, is that some sort of inner guide that's trying to connect, or what is that?
Yep. I say that's either, I pay attention to that, and I truly pay attention to it, and it can be a guide, it can be someone in spirit who's trying to draw your attention, and it may be as simple as they're drawing your attention to, what are you thinking about right now? Is this something negative? Is this really serving you in a positive way? Like, pay attention to your thoughts. But what I do is constantly. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I look at a clock, and I could be working away, and I don't even know if it's morning or afternoon. I could look, and it's 11:11. It's 1:11. Always.
Right.
Always.
Hey, Julien. Oh, sorry, Sandy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so what I do with those particular numbers, I stop. It doesn't matter what I am doing. I could even be driving my car, just happen to glance at the clock, boom, 1:11, 11:11. Immediately, what I do is I put out an intention to the universe in positive sentences, affirmations of what I would like.
Wow,
Okay.
cool.
I'm going to start doing that because I see that all the time.
Then do it.
So,
do it. Because ones are beginnings, right?
Right.
Oh, cool. Jules, tell Sandy about the clock that we have in our kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if there's something about clocks and timing.
I don't know. This is very bizarre. It was my grandmother's clock. My grandmother passed away in 2005.
Okay.
She had this clock in her kitchen. And then when she passed away, we took that clock and put it in our camp, a cabin in the woods that we had. Nice little cabin, no power, no electricity. So in the winter, it gets, if it's minus 20 out, it's minus 20 in the cabin. And this clock with batteries was in that cabin for years. It's now in our kitchen with the same batteries, and it's still working.
Wow.
This has
That's
been years,
amazing.
and it's frozen. It's gone from minus 20 to plus 20 to minus 20. Usually you freeze batteries, they're done. It's been like this for years. And now it doesn't keep time, like it's slower, like you'll set it properly and it just kind of goes. But it's been, I don't know, maybe, it hasn't been the same battery since 2005, but we've changed it maybe 10, 12 years ago. And it's been the same batteries.
Interesting. I would say that's definitely energy of your grandmother. Does it stop at 4:45, 4:44, 4:43?
Oh, I don't know. I'll take a look because I noticed that it's not quite on time. Like it's just slower, but it's still running. Like the second hand is going around, but it shouldn't
it shouldn't work at all.
The batteries.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
Maybe that's her joy guide. I don't know.
It could be, but it's definitely your grandmother's. I'm picking that up right away. It's definitely your grandmother's energy. She gave me the number 4. She said 444, 443, 445 quickly in that sequencing. So that's why I just wanted to know if it stopped at that time, or if those numbers, if you're seeing those numbers all the time, or 443, 444, 445 they mean anything to you.
I'm going to ask my father because it had stopped on a time, like the time that she had passed or something. My dad had set it to that time, the time that she had passed, but it just continued going. And so the clock had stopped, and my dad just I don't know, as an homage, just set it to the time she had passed. And then my dad went back to the cabin a few days or weeks later, and the clock was running. And then it's just been running ever since. It's really, really weird. And now it's in our house, and it's running to this day. And literally the batteries are many, many years old. I love it. More than 7, 8, 10 years. I don't know.
Wouldn't you say, wasn't it 2005 you said she passed?
No, the batteries have been changed after that.
Okay.
But not many years after that. Like just a few years after that, the batteries were changed. And then it stopped or something, and so my dad just set the time to when she had passed, and then he went back to the cabin, and the clock was actually working, so he just didn't think much of it, and it's just been working ever since.
You know what's cool about that? I never realized that it kind of stopped, and then he set it to the time she passed, because when he did that, I wonder if that, you know what I mean, sent a little message to her.
No clue.
And then that's what made it continue. Wow.
And I know people might be watching this. I know there's some skeptics that might be watching this, and I just naturally am a cynical skeptic, but this is all real, and it's the clock as we speak is in the house, and batteries do not last that long, especially because we also had a ghetto blaster in that cabin with batteries, and anytime it would get below 0 and we'd forget to remove the batteries, we'd be like, oh damn, the batteries are done now because it froze, and we'd burn through batteries, and we'd always get in trouble from our parents because they're like, it's going to be cold, take the batteries out. and this thing is still working.
Should I go check what the clock says right now in the
Go
kitchen?
check just in case.
Okay, I'm gonna go check.
What if it's 4:44? I
don't know.
I'm gonna collapse on the ground.
She also brought in the numbers. She said 8/12 to me, so I don't know. The 8th month is August. I don't know if the 12th of August has any meaning for you, or 8/12. So that might be a number as well that the clock might stop. I'm not sure what it means, but she just said that to me. So just to let you know, I'm just going to give that.
Cool, Jules?
Very, very cool.
Is there anything else she's saying to you?
I no.
Not right now.
Not at the moment, because
Cool.
she just said, I got that, and then she said 8/12. So
Okay, I'm gonna go and look at the clock.
Give that to you,
Sandy.
Okay.
Talk to us about the protector guide and then the master guide.
Yes. So the protector guide is exactly what it says. And they usually come in and they present themselves as a North American native. Okay, you might feel the energy of that. You might visualize, the face. Could be a chief, could be just someone with a feather or not. But it's usually. It's usually a North American Indian or a Viking, someone of strength. Now, the reason it usually comes, the protector guide comes in as a native, is that their role is to sort of help us have insight into the relationship between the physical world and the spirit lands. And we know that Aboriginal people are very spiritual and have worked with, as history's recorded that, working with spirits as they, they honor their dreams, like vision quests, that kind of thing, sweat lodges and that. So, so they're basically here to help us, keep us safe. A lot of times they might come in as a medicine man or woman. And they also, so Jen, this is one you might want to, because you were saying earlier on that you gave material that you thought the people who were interviewing wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And so you weren't really expressing yourself. So that would be someone that I would call upon, would be the protector guide if that situation comes up again, because they just help you bring that power of expressing yourself.
Okay.
And just releasing fears. They help us to just release the fears, and just we feel this more like positive, pure vibration energy when we're working with the protector guide as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always ask when I'm traveling. It's interesting because when I travel, I always ask for my protector guide to come in, who is Chief Sleepy Eye. And I think I talked about him the last time. I can't remember. And I'll also ask my dad, who is in spirit, to come in, and without fail, it doesn't matter if I'm on a long trip traveling in the car, if I haven't seen a hawk, I'll say, Dad, where are you? And within seconds, a hawk will swoop down front of my car and then gone. And I could look back in my rearview mirror and there's no sign of it whatsoever. So I feel my dad is here in spirit as protector, and he could even be my protector guide, because my dad actually, if you were to see him, he actually looked native.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's sort of an interesting thing with that. Okay, that's a little off side thing, but
that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's all very fascinating. And then lastly, the master guide.
Yeah, the master guide. He's the master guide is one that doesn't really do anything like the other ones do, but more helps us get the big picture of our spiritual path, kind of thing. So the master guides, they're seen as very highly evolved spiritual beings, and they're really here to help, because I believe in oneness and that we are all connected. There is no there's absolutely place where we're severed from one person to another person, from one energy to another energy.
Right.
You can't just say, okay, you and Jen are in the same room and you're 3 feet away from her, the energy stops where the 3 feet from
Right.
each of you. It doesn't happen. It's impossible. So they're just here to basically help us believe in this connectedness, to really find peace within ourselves so that we can radiate it out towards the world. Finding our own light, I should say, and knowing, being really conscious of how we project ourselves out there, how we work, how we communicate. And they do inspire us. They don't dictate to us or anything like that. But that's basically, the master teacher. And it's interesting because these guides are known to come in specific places on our body. So the joy guide comes into the right of our body. The doctor teacher comes to the left of our body. The doctor chemist comes in from behind. The protector guide comes in from the front. So if I was doing an exercise with my students and I was having them bring in the protector guide, you're going to feel that energy in your heart. It's just like this, or your lungs, your chest, almost like a hand is really pressing on you. And the master teacher guide is above. It's above our head.
And do you always know, like, are the guides always there, or do you have to kind of ask them to come forward? And is that just an earthly kind of question? Like, for instance, the reason I say it like earthly is because when I've heard people talk about near-death experiences, they say that, like, it's not the same spatial kind of concept.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. And I've had a few of the near-death experience, so I can personally vouch for that. Mm-hmm. Very true. I don't worry about where my guides are when I'm doing a reading. I just don't. That's sort of a standard practice that was developed, and where the heck was it developed from? The oh gosh, I can't remember now. Oh, the Indiana Association of Spiritualists. They sort of adopted this model, and so it's been sort of taught throughout the ages. But it's more for me when I'm doing reading, when spirits come in. Although if it's a guide, I'll know where they are. Like, I'll have a spirit come in and they're to the left of me or to the right of me, right in front of me. I don't really dwell on where they are. Okay. It just sort of helps me if I'm getting in a spirit and I'm trying to feel, okay, is this a male or a female spirit? And then if it comes sort of to the right, usually I say that's male because our right side is masculine, our left side is feminine. So that's kind of another little thing to sort of clue into who it is that's coming in.
And our inner guides, people that like were alive at one time and have, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've lived on the earth plane at some point in time.
And how do they end up with? How do we end up with our guides? Is it random? Is it people that are connected to our past somehow?
I believe that they come in. Like when we decide to come in to the earth, they come with us at that time. That's my belief.
Well, yeah, because remember I told that story about how my niece, when she was a baby, used to always say the word dawn in her crib. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that makes sense because my sister said that she always heard her daughter Jessica call out to Dawn all the time. Yeah. It was one of her first words. Yeah.
That's so
freaky.
And then she went to a medium, a clairvoyant afterwards, my sister,
years later.
after, like, I don't know, maybe when Jessica was 16 years old. And and the clairvoyant was telling her all of the names of their guardian angels. And she said, your daughter Jessica's guardian angel name is Dawn.
Wow.
And my sister was brought right back to when she was a little baby.
Yeah. It's just, there's just too much there that we can, people can just say, it's just a coincidence or
Yeah.
whatever. No, there's just too much, personally, my own personal life and what's happened, and others that I've, work with, and just, it's just, this stuff, you can't make it up.
That's right.
Right.
You cannot make it up.
Yeah.
When I'm seeing things and I'm telling people this stuff, there's absolutely no way in God's earth that I would know this about this person, because I don't even know the person.
Right.
So how can I, it's spirit and guides connecting with me to give me that information, mind to mind, so that I can give them that information, the person who's sitting,
It's endlessly fascinating, and it's also kind of encouraging in a way to hear this. Do you think, Sandi, are we inherently optimistic, positive people, or are some people just born negative or cynical, or do we learn that? Can we unlearn it? I feel like I know I grew up and was born so positive, and
Yes.
I feel with my lack of meditation and being in show business, those two combinations have made me cynical and negative over the years.
Okay.
And it's not who I am fundamentally. I'm really
That's it. That you're right, bang on. And if you think of a newborn baby and a baby before they have speech and words, what are they doing? They're only going to cry if they're in pain or if they're hungry. Most times they're smiling, they're laughing, you do something funny, they laugh out loud, because this is the natural part of being.
Yeah. Right.
We come in, and all that other stuff is exactly what you said. It's learned behavior, and what you learn, you can unlearn or change it.
I have to really consistently meditate because, I just feel like I've grown to be more cynical and negative than I it's just not who I am. And sometimes I catch myself and I have to correct it, but I think it's just based on I have to meditate every day.
Absolutely. And once again, I say, like, even going for a walk is a form of meditation.
Right.
Okay. Just sitting down and looking at a candle burning is a form of meditation. It's about focusing. You need to focus, have a focal point, and concentrate on that focal point.
Well, it's funny because Julien has said many times, and I agree with him, I feel exactly the same way. We have this beautiful snow globe that is battery operated, and it just pushes all these extremely sparkly bits that are in it. It's not even just snow, it's like glitter. And it has like Santa in the middle, and it sounds so silly, but like I'm captivated by it, kind of like we both are, and it's almost like an aquarium where you just like you just stare at the we'll even put the aquarium channel on the TV sometimes, and it's so soothing. There's something very relaxing about just simplicity. And we just started watching Downton Abbey, and Downton Abbey, like at that time, like everybody, you're not scrolling through Instagram, and people sat down and they looked into the distance, they looked outside, they looked at candles, they read books, like they stopped, they were silent, they were still. And I think no question, I feel better when I do that.
Absolutely. It's interesting you say about snow blowers, snow globes. I have I don't know, maybe I need to go out there and blow snow. I don't know. I have a curio cabinet full of music boxes, not boxes, but like a Santa Claus globe. I've got like ones that move, little items move, and it's just I will just put those on. When my granddaughter was a year old, and she would come over to my house, and she would immediately go before the curio cabinet, sit down, cross her legs, put her hands in her lap, and just look at me. And I knew what she wanted. She wanted, and I would take them out one by one, and she could sit there quite content for an hour.
Cute.
Just watching the movement, the dance, the songs, whatever of these music cold instruments and the snow globes. Beautiful.
Very Yeah, very fascinating. And Sandy, we could talk to you all day. I think we should have Sandy be a regular, like a monthly thing where we could take call-in questions and let's think about that. And if you're game for it, Sandy, we'd like to have you more often because it is a breath of fresh air. It's endlessly fascinating, and people, I know people love.
What a positive message!
Yes, and people love listening to you. Where can people find you online and social media? Let's remind people of where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me. You know what? I did this the last one too. Forgot what. My email. I do have Inner Awakening Spiritual Development Centers on Facebook, and people could just plug into that. My website is www.inspiringinnerawakenings.ca. So it's all one word, inspiringinnerawakenings.ca. And I have a website up which shows, gives you all the things that I do. The class is coming up. January, I'll be starting back into teaching spiritual intuitive development for those who want to learn more. Mediumship classes, meditation classes, readings, all that kind of stuff. So if they want to.
And given the climate right now, is it all done online, or are you seeing people in person?
It's mostly online. I am seeing a few people in person, but it's mostly done on Zoom, which is great because I've been able to, work with people in British Columbia, the United States. So
right.
it's this has been sort of a blessing in disguise, in a way.
Yeah, we've same for our careers. We've kind of embraced it. Well, Sandi Harmer.
Can I just say before you say goodbye?
Yes.
Like I said, I've been to a reading and I highly recommend it. So if you're interested, you should go and see Sandy, not just because she's really good at what she does, but like Jules said, she has got a great energy. It's a very positive thing to do in a day where there's so many jaded, negative things and news and
why
and
again do I feel targeted here when you say jaded, negative?
But really, Sandy is great, and it's just you feel uplifted. And now that you talk about the joy guide, I can see how that is present when you go for a reading, because you feel very uplifted when you leave, and you feel like euphoric, almost like a dopamine hit has happened. And that must be the workings of the joy guide. And also you, Sandy, it's a really great experience. It's very positive, and I highly recommend it.
Once again, there she goes, Sandi Harmer. We'll have you again. Thank you very much, Sandy. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be in touch to have you on again real soon. If we don't talk to you before the holidays, happy holidays. And thanks again. You're great. We just absolutely love having you on, and looking forward to chatting again soon.
Okay, thanks for having me. I enjoy it too.
Thanks, Sandy. And we'll put all of your information. We'll plug it up all over Facebook so people can easily find you. There she goes, Sandi Harmer, everybody.
Bye,
and there she goes. That was great. I could have chatted all day. I just at this time of day, because it's 9:07, I'm seeing on the internet is.
It's getting slower.
Yeah, our neighbors are up and using the internet, so it's really starting to be a little choppy, and so we'll go for the close. So
okay, perfect.
We'll put Sandy's information in the Facebook post. Go find her, and let me see if I can just quickly channel my, because I mentioned that I'm cynical and negative, and I'm trying to be positive. So I'm going to channel my inner joy guide. Joy guide, please show yourself. He wants nothing.
That was very cynical.
He wants nothing to do with it. No, that was like the joy guy's running away from me because I'm that.
Oh, I get it.
What did you think I meant?
I don't know. I wanted the joy guy to show you up.
I have an idea. I'm just kidding. That was great. I always learn a lot, and it's not exactly what people think. Like, this is just practical stuff that people can apply in their regular lives and better themselves. And I think I'm going to start
meditating,
using my heart a little more, because I found out that our heart is the highest vibrational organ. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little. I don't know.
Maybe
There's
you
some
should
sort
go
of,
and see her too.
Yes,
go get
I
a
will.
reading.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let's go for the close. We did everything, right? You did the Gringos ad while the internet was while I was trying to deal with things. So we did that. We covered everything. Thanks to Mike Plume. Mike Plume month continues.
I didn't do Dip to Clam.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Okay.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. Jenny, thank you. I love you.
Love you.
We'll see you Monday morning. Enjoy your weekend. We're the Julien Dionne Show with Jen Grant, live Mondays through Fridays on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Dailymotion, Periscope, and available on demand wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks to Sandi Harmer again, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday morning, bright and early, and as always, until then, watch your head.
I got a head like a radio. Such a beautiful waste of time. Waste of time. A beautiful waste of time. Waste of time. I went to school, yeah, I learned a lot. Got a degree in what I'm not. You spend your life looking for what you already got. Such a beautiful waste of time. Waste of time. A beautiful waste of time. It's just a waste of time. Wandering eyes and itchy feet. I'm just a thin, nervous shadow walking backwards down the street. The landing is bitter, but the falling is oh so sweet. It's just a waste of time. A beautiful waste of time. It's just a waste of time. The whole world wants a piece of my head, but they all get a piece of my mind instead. I roll over and go back to bed. It's such a beautiful waste of time. A waste of time. A beautiful waste of time. It's just a waste of time.